In today's news, forecast tools weakens as FRASER PENN urge public to act before storm activity peaks. Premier attended the 49th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. Honorable FRASER recaps trip to UN Ocean Conference in France. CLINE warns against skipping meetings over who chairs cabinet. We have the details of this and much more when 284 News returns.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you,
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Thursday, July 10th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Thursday's wish to all. Officials in the Virgin Islands are warning residents to complete hurricane preparedness now, citing weakness in satellite forecasting and shifting form of various trends as well as storms for the territory, which approaches the most active stretch of the 2025 season. Speaking during Virgin Islands Voice, Director of Disaster Management Jason PENN confirmed that despite a slow start, the season remains classified as above average, with 16 named storms forecasted, 13 still to come, according to updated predictions from the Colorado State University.
For 2025, we've started off pretty slow based on the predictions that we would have had, but we're still not out of the woods. So I would say this: the first figures that were published in terms of tropical storms, hurricanes, and major hurricanes, the Colorado State University would have published figures of 17 named storms, 9 hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes. Today they would have released their second rendition of those updates. Those figures have gone down a bit to 16 named storms, 8 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes. However, they still maintain that we are above average in terms of the activity we may see with these tropical cyclones.
3 named storms, Andrew, Barry, and Chantel, have already developed, leaving 13 storms still projected. According to PENN, the slow start was due to a mix of Saharan dust, neutral El Nino conditions, and cooler sea surface temperatures, all of which reduced storm development early in the season. However, he warned those conditions are changing, just as the National Hurricane Center and U.S. Department of Defense have decommissioned several key satellites used to track storm formation overnight. Without that data, the risk of sudden, undetected intensification increases, especially during nighttime hours.
Me being here tonight is to urge everyone is that although we are in I would say a slow period, that does not mean that we should be complacent. We still need to begin our preparations if you haven't started, and start them early, as these conditions can change pretty rapidly. With those satellites being decommissioned, it does create some challenges for the forecasting community. And the key thing with those particular satellites was the fact that the mechanism that they use allowed for forecasters to look beneath the clouds and actually look at the structure of the actual tropical cyclones. The type of data they would have got using those satellites would include being able to identify the proper center location of the storm, the intensity, potential intensity for development, speed, and direction. Now with those removed, what What those particular satellites also did is the fact that during the nighttime periods, there's certain data that other satellites could not or cannot really see. And that thereby also creates another challenge, meaning that you can go to bed with a tropical depression, and you could wake up and have a very powerful hurricane. If you would look back just briefly at 2024, we would have realized that Beryl, when it developed, it broke records in the sense that it was the strongest intensifying system, where it went from a tropical depression to a Category 4 hurricane in 48 hours. So with that being said, with these satellites being removed, we can clearly see how we can be in the dark when it comes to certain things.
Deputy Premier of the Virgin Islands, the Honorable Julian Fraser, RA, reinforced the urgency of preparation, emphasizing that past devastation was often the result of poor readiness rather than poor building design.
I can attest to the fact that all structures in the Virgin Islands are adequate. They have proven that during the Hurricane Irma and Maria. What happened is that the damages that the buildings sustained during those hurricanes was because of lack of preparation. If you allow the elements to get through your windows, of course they're going to lift the roof off. But had you boarded up and do whatever you needed to do during hurricane, we would have suffered, our damages would have been significantly reduced.
Fraser also recently represented the Virgin Islands at the United Nations Ocean Conference in Nice, France, where he joined international leaders in discussing marine resilience and climate risk. He reminded residents that while the territory contributes on the world stage, local preparedness is what saves lives. Both officials closed with a call for action: review emergency plans, secure homes early, and do not rely on slow season trends. With less visibility in forecasting and weather systems already shifting northward, the public is updated and urged to act while time allows. Premier of the Virgin Islands, Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley, recently participated in the 49th regular meeting of the Caribbean heads of government in Jamaica, focusing on key regional issues like security, food security, and climate change. Take a look at this report. Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Dr. Natalia D. Wheatley, recently traveled from July 5th to the 9th, attending the 49th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community in Montego Bay, Jamaica. The meeting was held from the 6th to the 8th July under the chairmanship of Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Premier Wheatley joined other leaders to discuss improving regional security, enhancing food and nutrition security, as well as combating climate change. The meeting observed under the theme People, Partnerships, Property, Promoting a Secure and Sustainable Future. Premier Wheatley said, and I quote, "We are happy to collaborate with our Caribbean neighbors so that together we can find solutions to food security and the concerns of climate change, topics which are so important in our agenda of priority matters. This partnership affords," he said, "us the opportunity to exchange ideas and learn from other countries about what they are doing to improve these areas." Deputy Premier and Minister of Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change, the Honorable Julian Fraser, was also away from the territory in France for the same period. In their absence, Minister for Communications and Works, the Honorable Kai M. Reimer, was appointed to carry out the functions of Premier, Minister of Finance, Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sustainable Development, and Minister for Financial Services, Economic Development, and Digital Transformation during the period 5th to 9th July. Deputy Premier and Minister of Natural Resources and Climate Change, the Honorable Julian Fraser, RA, attended the 3rd United Nations Ocean Conference held in Nice, France. The Global Forum was held from June 9th to the 13th and brought together heads of government, ministers, scientists, civil society, youth leaders, and private sector stakeholders to advance ocean sustainability. The Deputy Premier, during a recent Virgin Islands Voice program, spoke on his recent trip and its outcomes.
The topic this evening, of course, when you talk about my ministry that deals with the environment and climate change, everything that happens in the community is impacted by climate change. and the environment. It's a huge topic internationally. Every country in the world appears when there is a matter regarding the environment and climate change. I just came back from Nice, France, where the United Nations had a conference on the ocean. And when I say every country showed up, I mean every country, even countries that are landlocked, interested in what takes place in the ocean. It's amazing. And then come November, you would have every country in the world again. And that includes big countries like the United States, the Soviet Union, and all those countries, Russia. Gathering in Brazil, discuss climate change, matters regarding changes in climate.
Up next, ANEGADA's STEP program, Drive Push Forward, 30% renewable by 2025. We have this and much more coming right up.
My name's Henry Bosch. I work for PPG. I'm here to explain to you the use of the Deltron NXT paint line and EnviroBase high performance, one being solvent-borne and the next being waterborne. The difference is that one is totally manufactured with rosins and thinners and all the good stuff that solvents bring versus our new technology, which is waterborne, which is 100% latex. What we're gonna do is that we reduce the solvent-borne with a DT885, which is a mid-temp reducer, and the waterborne uses T494, which is a waterborne reducer. We will today be using either DCU 2042, which is a speed clear, or we will be using DCU 2021, which is a classic. We have here our equipment. We have 8-ounce measuring cups, and we also have our 32-ounce mixing cup. We will also have with us our Venturi. This is a blower for us to dry the waterborne paint, which speeds up the process. The good thing about waterborne paint is that as soon as it evaporates, you're good to go. So now Gilligan will dilute the waterborne paint with the waterborne reducer. We made 8 ounces, that would be 1.6 ounce. It always has to be properly mixed until we get an even mixture within the paint mixing cup. So when we spray, we don't see uneven coats of color. So right now we're filling our paint gun with 8 ounces of diluted paint. We're gonna see how far 8 ounces will take us. Waterborne paint seems to look blotchy on your first coat. Don't pay no mind to that. Don't try to achieve full coverage on your first spray. Excellent. Let it dry. So the process in waterborne is 2 even coats, and then we have what we call a dust coat. Well, now we're gonna have Mr. Brown apply the first coat of clear on his waterborne panel. We'll let it flash off, and then he'll come back and coat it with his second coat to finish it off. As you had seen in the previous shots, we had a little blotchiness, and you'll see some patches. That's all due on purpose to sandpaper to prove that with EnviroBase high performance, all technicians, the body work has to end at 800 grit or plus. Well, EnviroBase is like we're trying to shift everyone into that slowly but surely. The entire west coast of the United States and all of Canada has already been on waterborne for the past 10 years. And now soon it'll be the eastern seaboard, which covers the Caribbean. So when that happens, we'll all be affected. So it's best to start now, start trying and applying waterborne, because eventually everyone will be on it. And referring to technicians, it's less harmful because it doesn't have all the toxic chemicals that solvent-borne paints do.
Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for sticking with us. Members of Cabinet have come under fire from talk show host Claude Skelton-Klein for what he says is their failure to attend to the people's business because the deputy governor is presiding over the meetings instead of the governor, who is away from the territory. During his Honestly Speaking radio program Tuesday evening, Skelton-Klein claimed that some members of the cabinet have refused to go to the meetings as long as David D. Archer Jr., who is a son of the soil, he says, is the chairman. Skelton Klein looked at the Constitution to show that it is not wrong for Archer to chair the meetings in the governor's absence.
1, here's what it says. The governor shall, so far as practicable, attend and preside at meetings of the cabinet. Now, this is the part where the 2007 Constitution, the then National Democratic Party government, sought in their negotiations to remove the office of the governor physically from being present in cabinet. And this is where the late Honorable T. O'Neill and the now Honorable Julian FRASER objected their being at the time holding or representing the opposition. I want you to remember that. Look what number 2 says. That was number 1. The governor shall, so far as practicable, attend and preside at meetings of the cabinet. 2, come closer. In the absence of the governor, there shall preside at any meeting of cabinet the premier, or in his or her absence, the deputy premier. That's number 2. That is what it says right there. So then, what's the confusion, Claude? Because that seems to be clear. It says, the governor shall, so far as practicable, attend and preside at meetings of the cabinet. That's number 1. Number 2 says, in the absence of the governor, there shall preside at any meeting of the cabinet the premier, or in his or her absence, the deputy premier. That seems pretty clear, doesn't it? So then what's the glitch? Why does the member of the 3rd District, the at-large member, the Castro, the member of the 5th District, and others who have gone before them, what has been their understanding and their position, their reticence to resist attending cabinet when the deputy governor is presiding?
Skelton Klein has warned that with all the challenges they face, they cannot afford to disintegrate into rhetoric and moves.
Let's agree there's a glitch. Let's agree to some it's clear. Let's agree to others it's not so clear. But do you stop the people's business? Member of the 3rd District, do you just completely boycott going to cabinet? Don't look at me funny. And I must say, Honorable De Castro, who even though she holds the position as I understand it, and Honorable, I will stand corrected if you say it's not so. Even though she holds the position of what the Constitution says, she has gone to 99% of the meetings anyway.
The Virgin Islands is advancing forward its target of 30% renewable energy generation by 2025, with major developments underway in ANEGADA and across the territory. This is according to Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley and ANEGADA Hybrid Renewable Energy and Battery Storage System, which is now in its final phase. Once operational, the solar farm will supply up to 90% of ANEGADA's electricity needs through solar energy. The project was developed in partnership with the BVI Electricity Corporation and Power 52 Caribbean Energy Institute. To support territory-wide adoption, the government also launched the Solar Technology Energy Program in February 2025, backed by $1 million in funding. The initiative covers up to 50% of solar installation costs for eligible homes and businesses and allows participants to sell excess energy back to the grid. Minister for Communications and Works, the Honorable Kai M. Reimer, said that step initiative is designed to lower monthly energy bills by as much as 50%. Now, these efforts fall under the government's broader climate adaptation and energy diversification strategy. The BVI's commitment also aligns with global calls to reduce fossil fuel dependence and strengthen small island energy security. Up next, 115 now British overseas territory citizens, and government announces funeral plans, public tributes, and transport. These and much more coming right up.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service. Alright, you enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second. Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny. Good morning. Good morning, Sonny boy. What on there? You must have cut fun topic. It's okay, I'll take care of it. What? No man to take care of it. How may I assist you? Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Just give me my service. Yeah. Just give me my service. Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, Life Unlimited.
Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for sticking with us. 115 persons are now British Overseas Territory citizens following two ceremonies held at Government House on June 16th and 17th. During the ceremonies, the newly naturalized individuals heard congratulatory remarks from His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Daniel Pruce, Acting Premier Honorable Julian Fraser RA, and Registrar General Mrs. Tasha Oflaharty-Maduru. Registrar General Mrs. Tasha Oflaharty-Maduru began the proceedings and officially welcomed the audience.
Today is no ordinary day. It is a deeply meaningful occasion, a celebration of identity, belonging, and home. As I look around this room, I see more than just citizens. I see familiar faces. Some of you have gone through the school system here in the BVI. You've worked here, raised families. You've invested in this territory and served in ways both big and small that have helped shape who we are as a people. So today is not simply about receiving a certificate or taking an oath. It is about recognizing the journey you've walked, sometimes long, sometimes uncertain, but always rooted in hope, determination, and love for these islands you now officially call home.
Acting Premier at the time, the Honorable Julian Fraser RA, welcomed the individuals to the Virgin Islands family. He shared that he was overjoyed to see individuals who have contributed to the success of these Virgin Islands reach this pivotal milestone in their lives.
This moment is a formal acknowledgement of your status and a heartfelt tribute to your dedication, contributions, and positive qualities during your time in the British Virgin Islands. Today, you join a distinguished group of individuals who have committed themselves to the development of this territory, who have followed its laws, embraced its values, and enriched its communities through their hard work and perseverance. Your naturalization is not merely a legal transition. It is a symbol of appreciation for your years of service, commitment, and respect for the Virgin Islands, which you now call home. Becoming a BOTC is more than an administrative process. It is a statement that your presence here is valued and that you have woven yourself into the fabric of our society. You have demonstrated integrity, diligence, and a willingness to contribute to the growth of the Virgin Islands. Your business, education, public service, or community engagement efforts have shaped our shared future.
His Excellency Governor Daniel Pruce reminded the celebrants that naturalization is an enriching process from which the Virgin Islands gains. During his remarks, he expressed that the intermingling of cultures and ways of thinking brings benefit that will reach the entire community.
Genuinely, it's a pleasure for me to have you all here today, and to have had the enormous, delightful task of presenting certificates of naturalization to each and every one of you, all of you who have chosen to make your homes here in the British Virgin Islands. Today is your day, and I hope that you are all feeling a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction, as well as a sense of humility. Humility because this is a moment where you are committing yourselves to new ties and links and connections that will stay with you for the rest of your lives. The British Virgin Islands, this beautiful territory in which we, each of us, have the enormous privilege to live, attracts interest from outside given the many, many opportunities it offers. Some of those who come here stay for just a short period and then leave, but others, such as yourselves, choose to remain, and in remaining, choose to contribute productively, positively to the community that you have joined. And in due time, the opportunity does arise to be naturalized in the new place of abode that you've chosen. And so, from a wide variety of backgrounds, nations, and experiences, you have all come together this morning to take on your new citizenship. For me, this is an enormously enriching process from which the British Virgin Islands as a territory gains significantly. This mixture, this intermingling of cultures, of ways of thinking, of knowledge and experience and skills, brings with it enormous benefits and rewards.
Naturalization is the process under the British Nationality Act 1981 that allows individuals who have met the criteria to become British Overseas Territories citizens. The official funeral of former legislator, the late Eileen L. Parsons, will be held on Thursday, July 17th at the Multipurpose Sports Complex in Road Town. More details in this report.
Government has announced that the official funeral for former legislator Eileen Parsons will take place on Thursday, July 17th at the Multipurpose Sports Complex in Road Town. Parsons' body will lie in state at the House of Assembly chambers on Wednesday, July 16th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., where members of the public will be allowed to pay their final respects. Government said that on the morning of July 17th, an official procession will depart from the House of Assembly chambers at 8 a.m., leading to the Multipurpose Sports Complex. A pre-service is scheduled for 8:30 a.m., followed by the official funeral service at 10 a.m., with the interment taking place at Road Town Methodist Church Cemetery. In observance of the funeral, all official flags on government buildings will be flown at half-mast on July 17th. Arrangements have also been made to accommodate residents from the sister islands wishing to attend the service. Individuals requiring ground transportation are advised to register through their district officer. Transportation will be provided to and from the ferry terminal in Road Town to the Multipurpose Sports Complex.
That is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at tweet4media.com. Like us on Facebook at tweet4media and tweet4BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Happy Thursday. Goodbye.